Welcome to BS Draftcast, where we are Brandon and Steven, and we're back at you with a Week 10 recap of the NFL. And what a wild Sunday it was. As always, excuse me. As always, I have man Steven on the other line. I'm glad we get to do a little recap. We don't get to do many of them with my work schedule, but how you doing today, Steven?
No, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just hanging out, excited to talk some football, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I know we were texting back and forth during the entire wild Sunday slate of games. Um, so yeah, let's dive right into it, man. Obviously, the first game was over in Germany, which I'm actually kind of glad that those are finally over. No more 9:30 a.m. games. The international tour is over. The Carolina Panthers. I mean, honestly, they kind of dominated this game. If I'm being honest, um, scoreboard looks a lot better, closer than it actually was. But I mean, honestly, I feel that they kind of controlled this game for the majority of the game, especially on the ground game. Chuba Hubbard actually having an insane game. Um, and the Giants, bro, they just turnovers in the red zone, two interceptions. It's been the story of the Daniel Jones's career. uh, and I know we gave out a little early pick. We said Panthers plus the 6.5, and they not only did they cover, but they won outright. So, hey, a nice little pick right there. Any thoughts or I don't know. I know we talk about the Giants and how bad Daniel Jones is every week. It feels like, but any thoughts with this game? Any any progression you've seen? Actually, yeah, any progression you've seen from an offensive standpoint with Carolina? I mean, Bryce's numbers weren't great by any stretch of the means, and he didn't look the greatest. But what's your thoughts on the offense for the Carolina Panthers offense? And I mean, obviously in defense, obviously, or do you think it's just the Giants are that bad that they were able to do what they did, offensive and defensively?
Um, well, man, I I think for Bryce's confidence, I think this is big. I mean, confidence as an athlete, as a quarterback, as you know, it's paramount. And he had a rough start to his career, dude. He gets drafted to a team that doesn't have any real weapons. They gave up the only weapon that they had on the offense, you know, and they this offseason they gave up one of the only weapons they had on defense. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, the Panthers are just kind of in flux right now. So the fact that they're winning any game's a miracle, even though it's against the Giants. I mean, truthfully, I mean Chuba Hubbard had a phenomenal game. Um, Tyrone Tracy had a good game for the Giants.
Yep.
But I mean, realistically, if you look at the Panthers' offense, who's the star? There isn't one. You know, there's no go to, you know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, what about Adam Thielen? It's like, well, he's for one, he's always hurt,
Yep.
and for two, he's not, he's not, you know, he's not Adam Thielen like he was with the Vikings anymore. He's getting older, you know. So the fact that they're able to do anything is a miracle. I did read an article, I think it was Adam Schefter, and he said that um, Daniel Jones may never make a start for the Giants again. So
Damn.
straight up, yeah.
Damn. And they just paid
So
him
yeah.
all that money. Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which let's be honest, we talked about this
That was a mistake.
whenever they paid him. It was a
Yep.
terrible idea. Yeah, it was a terrible idea. Like he hadn't proven anything up to that point. You're banking on his athleticism and his arm, which he does have. It's just the intangibles.
It's
He's
everything
just not a
else.
good quarterback. Yeah, he has the physical talent, but that's where the compliments stop. You know what I mean? Yeah, good win by the Panthers. I mean, it sucks because you're climbing up the draft board whenever you want to be climbing down, or whichever way you want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it's kind of a give and take thing, but good win by the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not much. I mean, not much to say about it. It wasn't like it was a very big, interesting game where you're just like, damn, look at the Panthers. They're going to start rolling. I mean, we know that they're not great, and the Giants aren't great, and it's just what it is. Moving on to the 49ers Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is actually a game that I want to touch base a little bit on. And I just want to say that, bro, hats off to Baker Mayfield. There is no quit in this man. I mean, Every
Nope.
single week, the the Buccaneers are in the game. I mean, they have a real shot. And I mean, you're holding that San Francisco 49ers team to 23 points and you're right there in it. I mean, bro, hats off to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what Todd Bowles is doing down there. I still think he should be fired just for the fact that he had Chris Godwin on the field in the garbage time. But in the same sense, I just bro, hats off to that organization. I know their record's 4-6, but bro, they're literally in every single game, and it's wild. I mean, it's honestly wild.
It is, man. And to kind of piggyback on that with Baker Mayfield, dude, like if Lamar Jackson wasn't having the year that he's having, and Derek, I'm not saying that 'cause I'm a Ravens fan, you know, I'm just saying just as a whole, by and large, if he wasn't having the year that he was, like I feel if you look at his stats, they're not jumping off at you, but I'm jumping out at you. But if you look at just the way that Baker Mayfield has played this year, with the amount of injuries that he's had around him,
Right.
offensively and defensively, hell, in this game they lost Tristan Wirfs,
Yeah.
their Pro Bowl left tackle.
Yeah.
So they're just dropping like flies. You know what I mean? But Baker Mayfield keeps going out there and he's playing, and I know that he's unlikely to win the MVP award, obviously, but the fact that he's kept him in these games and has really, I mean, he's taking chicken shit and they asked him to make chicken salad with it. You know what I mean? So he's
Yeah.
really playing excellent
Absolutely.
ball. But 49ers side of the ball, dude, Brock Purdy had a hell of a game. He had a hell of a
Yeah.
game.
100%. 100.
For it to be that narrow is pretty
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah, yeah, Brock Purdy went off. I mean, and for it to be a 23-20 game, I mean, it's kind of mind blowing. Obviously, uh, turnovers. The Buccaneers had three fumbles, uh, and the San Francisco 49ers had two fumbles. The Buccaneers didn't lose any of their fumbles. 49ers lost one of theirs. So I mean, that's kind of why the game was still close. um, we got some questions. Gage, he asked to start Jaden Reed or DeAndre Swift this week. Bro, I'm sorry. The Bears are so dog shit that I wouldn't start anyone on their team. YN, I'll get to your question next, brother. For me, I gotta go Jalen Reed, bro. I really do. I mean, Jaden Reed it's a no brainer for me.
Yeah, I think I'm with Brandon on this one. The Bears are just, I mean, they're so up and down, dude. But these last couple weeks have been brutal, man. Yeah, I don't know if I would start Swift.
YN asked, who do you have winning today? Man,
This
I
is gonna
think
be a
this is,
good game.
yes, I think this is the Thursday night football game that everybody's been anticipating and wanting. YN. This is a Commanders team that is rolling. Granted, they suffered a tough loss last week to my Steelers. Um, but and the Eagles seem like they started to figure it out. Obviously, a lot of the offense is running through Saquon. Um, but let's be honest, the Eagles' last couple games. I mean, it was the Cowboys, the Jaguars, the Bengals, the Giants, the Browns. They got decimated by the Buccaneers and got beat by the Falcons. So for me, I the Eagles' defense I still don't trust. I want to say that I don't know if the Commanders win it outright. The line is up to 4 points right now. I want to say that the Commanders keep it a close game, but I do think that the Eagles' run game might be too much for the Commanders, and that's what wins the Eagles this game. But the Commanders, I think, cover the spread of 4 points. I am not personally taking a bet on this game, but I am taking a bet on the over total points of 49.5. What's your thoughts with the Eagles and the Commanders team? Who do you think pulls this game out?
Honestly, I think this game can go either way. To be honest with you, this game's going to be,
Oh, hang on.
man. For me, it's tough because the Eagles are getting healthy, man, and they're getting
1 second, y'all. I just dropped the call. My fault. Give me 1 second. Yeah, give me 1 second. Drop the call with Steven. Get him back on the line here. My fault.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, drop the call again. Go ahead. Start from the top with the whole Eagles thing.
The and starting to get they're starting to get rolling. They're really starting to get rolling, and offensively they're starting to click with Saquon and that. So, but you can't count the Commanders out, man. I mean, they're Jaden Daniels he's a beast, dude. So,
And I
me
think,
personally, I just think this game could go either way.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't think the Eagles' defense is quite as good as Pittsburgh's either. So I think that you might see a lot more scrambling from Jaden this week that he was doing last week. I mean, Steelers did a really good job containing Jaden last week. So that's what I'm rolling. I think the Eagles may squeak this out, but also it's one of them coin flip games. McCall asked David Devontae Adams, Lad Conkey, or JMO. Ooh,
Hmm.
who's Lad got? Who's the Chargers got? They got the Bengals. The Jets got the Colts. And JMO has the Jaguars.
I don't trust JMO.
I don't trust JMO either. He is like one of them players that takes the top off the defense, but he gets phased out a lot
Yep.
because they have so many weapons. Every single part of me wants to say Vontae Adams against the Colts. But here's my thoughts.
Oh, is it Devontae Adams or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Adams. Did I mess up?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. Um, I gotta go Lad McConkey on this, just because the Bengals give up so much in the passing game.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. All three of those teams freaking do too. It's just you don't know what the hell you're gonna get with Devontae Adams, which I never thought I would ever say that.
Right?
You know what I mean? You just don't know what you're gonna get with him. Like last week was a dud. I mean, we'll touch on that uh here in a little bit, but Jesus, yeah, um,
I think
yeah, that's
Lad's a
tough, man.
more like safer pick on it, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, he's probably a little safer. Yeah, I think for me it comes down to those two. It comes down to Devontae and Ladd. Like I said, I don't trust. I love Jameson Williams. That's my dude, but
Yeah, I'm
I
kind
just
of on like
don't
the
trust him yet.
um. Here's what I'm gonna do for you, McCall. We did this last week and it worked out. Um, we're gonna put Devontae Adams in a randomizer along with McConkey, and we're gonna spin it live on the stream. Let me make it big screen. We're gonna spin it, and we're this is who we're going with. All right, here we go. All right, randomizer says Devontae Adams. The randomizer paid off for us last week, so I'm gonna roll with it again. Mighty Pickle, he asked, should I do? I'm assuming this is a trade. Justin Jefferson and James Cook for Saquon and Tyreek? Absolutely not.
Tyreek has not. Tyreek has not looked good this year at all.
He needs to get arrested. If he gets arrested, I would make that trade. But James Cook has been a bright spot for the Bills, and Justin Jefferson, just because he's had an off week last week, I'm not worried about Justin Jefferson. I think JJ is perfectly fine. I think Sam Darnold will bounce back. I think that they'll be just fine.
I agree.
What do we got? Mooney, Hurt, Brian Robinson Jr. or Darnell Mooney.
Um,
Wait, is
I
Mooney
know
actually hurt?
B Rob's hurt too.
Yeah, B-Rob. Mm,
Let's see if I can find some of the latest stuff on
Darnell
B
Mooney's
Rob.
questionable due to an Achilles injury. Oh, that's terrifying. That, yeah, that's scary. Ooh,
Ryan Robinson set to play for Commanders.
okay. So B-Rob. I honestly think I actually have a little player prop bet on B Rob to score a touchdown today. So I'm gonna lean on B Rob just for that fact. And I mean, the Eagles haven't been the greatest against the run. They're like kind of middle of the pack type deal. Um, and I think that they're gonna try and establish a run game heavy, and try and get that play action rolling, get Jaden out of the pocket. So and the rest is history. I think that's like they're gonna try to get back to their typical offense that they. I mean, Austin Eckler ran really well against Pittsburgh yet last week, but I just I think B Rob to me is the move.
Yeah, if I had to choose between the two guys, I'd probably go with B Rob too. I think B Rob's a safer pick. Depends on which Philly defense shows up, depending on how much he goes off. But he always gets the goal line work. So
Yep, exactly.
whenever he is healthy, he gets the goal line work, I should say. But Eckler's been getting a lot of leeway too, so you got to factor that in. But I would probably go with B Rob over Mooney.
Mighty Pickle, thank you for the follow, brother. Deuce asked AJ Brown or Cooper Cup. That's a good question.
That is a good one.
That's a really good one. I feel. All right, who do the Rams have? The Patriots. I'm taking, bro. I'm taking. Ugh, no, bro. Is Marshawn Lattimore playing today?
No.
He is out today. Okay, yeah, he's out. Okay. Mm,
See, that one's tough just because the Rams are playing
the
New
Patriots.
England, man. But I think that tonight's game should be. It could be. Could turn into a shootout.
Well, I was just gonna say my bet for today is over 49.5 points. So I'm gonna go AJ Brown because I think that this is a high scoring game with AJ Brown potentially seeing that end zone. Yeah, I'm going AJ Brown.
Yep, that's who I'm going with too.
All right, Four Leaf Clover asks start Drake London, Khalil Shakir, or JMO.
Hmm. Bills got the Chiefs.
Falcons got the Broncos. Hey, the Chiefs gave up some last week.
I was about to say I might go with Shakir.
I almost got to go Shakir because that Broncos defense is rolling.
Yeah, I can
And
see London getting a
PS2 is
lot
going
of
to be on.
PS2.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go Shakir, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to go Shakir, and I think this Chiefs game it's going to be one of those games where um it's going to be they're going to try and get James Cook involved a lot, but it's going to be a lot on Josh Allen, I believe. And Keon Coleman's out. Yeah, I'm going Shakir, man. You rolling with Shakir as well?
Yeah, yep. I'm going with Shakir as well.
Butker is out for the season. He tore his ACL. Yeah, Samuel. I was actually going to mention that once we got to the Chiefs Denver game, which is kind of crazy. I didn't even know he got hurt. To be honest with you, but that's unfortunate for Chiefs. I know they just signed someone off of some practice squad. I can't remember who. I don't know. Phew, that's a tough loss because Buckner has been very solid for them. Ooh, ooh. All right, so Shadows at Hertz or Jackson Lamar. Jackson is questionable with his knee. Lamar Jackson's fine. He's playing. Don't
But
buy
yeah, they
into
give him
the.
rest days throughout the week.
Yeah, they said
So
that he
yeah,
has a
don't sweat
banged
that.
up knee or something, and
He's fine.
yeah, he's perfectly fine, bro. I'm telling you now, he's perfectly fine.
If
But
I'm as calm as I am on this podcast right now, he's fine.
um, I gotta favor this. I think the Steelers Ravens game. In all seriousness, I think Mike Tomlin is going to go back to the old Mike Tomlin and try and make this like win this game with 13 points. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know. I have this gut feeling. I just do. I have this feeling that it's going to be that old school Steelers Ravens football. It's not going to be the Steelers offense that's been scoring over 20 points a game. I feel like they're going to try and go back to that, run the clock out, and win 13 to 10, 13 to 9, something like that. I just have this weird feeling. Um I got to go Jalen Hurts once again. It plays into the fact that I'm playing the over on the Eagles game. I think that this could be a big shootout. So for some reason they don't like running Saquon Barkley up the middle on the goal line. It's Jalen Hurts that gets the call, and I think that you're going to see a lot of Jalen Hurts today running because it seems like their offense has really gone into the direction of, okay, we're going to let Jalen Hurts play Jalen Hurts football, let him run, let him extend, and it's been working. So I got to go Jalen Hurts on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback with Brandon on that one. Lamar's my dude, man, but Pittsburgh plays us so well, and their defense is just tough, man. I mean, they're just tough. So any other time I would go with Lamar, but in this instance, yeah, I would roll with Jalen Hurts.
MD Saquon over 94 yards. Are you rushing and receiving or just rushing? If you're just rushing, that's not a bad bet, honestly. Um, Man, I think the Commanders' defense is better than the Cowboys, though. And he had a big game against the Jags. He had a big game against the Bengals. Big game against the Giants. He had one bad game. You know, if it history repeats itself, Saquon's going to get over 94. Because it seems like all year it's been 3 games good, 1 game bad. 3 games good, 1 game bad. So that was his bad game last week, 66 yards. This could be another big game for Saquon. If you take him, if it's rushing and receiving, I would definitely take that. Just because they do throw the ball to him out of the backfield, and he might hurdle someone backwards for 10 yards. All right. That's all the questions right now. Appreciate all the likes too. Follows. Appreciate y'all. All right, so we touched base on the 49ers Tampa Bay. Falcons and Saints. This is a shocker. This is a letdown. This is one of our bets we lost. Man, what is going on with the Falcons, bro? Just whenever we hyped them up, talked about how we think that they're figuring it out, and or they, I mean, couldn't do shit against the Saints, and it I don't want to say they couldn't do shit. It looks very very inflated on the stat sheet. I mean, Drake London almost 100. Darnell Mooney almost had 100. Kyle Pitts had 50. Bijan Robinson 116 on the ground. Kurt Thuggins 306 through the air with 1 interception but no touchdowns. I I don't I don't know. I honestly don't know with this team. What is your insight with this? And if you look at the stats on the other side of the ball, you were like, damn, the Falcons decimated them, except for Valdez Scantling went off. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it, bro, this Sunday, and that's why we wanted to do a recap because how crazy this Sunday was.
Uh, yeah, this past Sunday we were texting during a lot of those games, and at the end of a lot of those games and stuff, and it was just it was a weird week of football, dude. I mean, it was just a weird week of football. Like I thought, Falcons, yeah, that's a no-brainer there, but I mean, hats off to Derek Carr, man. Derek Carr had a rock solid game. You know what I mean? Like the Falcons are they're just so goddamn hot and cold, dude. Like once they start to seem like they're clicking and starting to take off, they lay an egg. Like yes, it's just it blows my mind. Like you said, the stats are good. They got the touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like they by all intents and purposes, dude, they should have beat the depleted Saints, but
I
it
just
just
yeah,
didn't happen.
I and there's not much to say. They're very up and down. They're wishy washy. I don't think the Saints are that good, and frankly, I don't know if the Falcons are that good. Absolutely, I mean, to not be able to score is what I don't get. They could not score the game. I mean, and it doesn't make sense because all the yards are there. All the
Yeah,
yards are there, top to bottom. Missed field goal, interception, missed field goal. They missed 3 field goals. Oh my goodness.
it doesn't help either, dude. Freaking goddamn defense made Valdez-Scantling look like Randy Moss. You know what I mean? Like I just like how does that happen? Like that's all that's Valdez-Scantling's calling card, bro. Is just run deep. It's 50-50. He drops it, but he's a burner, dude. And he's
Yep.
6'5". That's what he does. Like how do you let that happen twice in one game?
3 catches, 2 touchdowns.
3 times. Yeah. Like come on,
I
dude.
yeah
It was really two. It was two giant catches is what it was.
yeah
But
yeah.
how do you let that happen?
I don't know, man. This Falcons team disappointed me, and I know I keep saying the Eagles are banned every week and they cash for us. Brother, I can't touch the Falcons right now unless it is an absolute absurd Falcons versus uh, New England or Falcons versus the Panthers or Falcons versus the Giants, and the spread is like 2. They're favored by 2 points. Anyway, I'll bet them. Other than that, oh, speaking of which, I just went to the Falcons schedule. They got the Giants the 22nd, and they got the Panthers on the 5th. So, hey, we got if they put some favorable lines out there, we might bet the Falcons.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, another shocking game: Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs. I we don't watch Chiefs games. We just don't. But the Broncos had every shot in the world to win this game. Every shot in the world. They lined up for, and I may get a lot of slack for what I'm about to say, but I just don't care. They lined up for a 35-yard field goal, and what better storybook ending to this 9-0 run the Chiefs are on for them to block it?
Right?
Storybook, like you couldn't write it. You can't write a better story. And hats off to them getting a block. Um, this is a little shout out to Pat McAfee. I don't know if anyone watches it here. I watch it pretty religiously. Um, Pat broke down the play of the block field goal, and Pat immediately pulls up the play and he circles the guy on the left side and he goes, "What is this guy's doing? This guy, his stance is already wrong." He said they loaded up on that left side. He said, and loaded up on that left side, and his stance is wrong, and you can just tell that he does not belong on a field goal unit. He doesn't belong on any unit, period. So I don't know, man. Another tough fought win by the Chiefs. They're underdogs this week against the Bills. Uh, Offensively, they didn't do anything crazy. I mean, Kareem Hunt was their leading receiver. The Broncos were reeling, and that's another pick that we gave out on the podcast. I said the Broncos wake up to play the Chiefs, and that's exactly what happened. They woke up to play the Chiefs, and they did. I mean, they had a chance to win it. They had a chance to win it, man. Unfortunately, they didn't. It'd have been nice. I don't have much. Hats off, Bo Nix. He killed it. He went off. Any thoughts on this game at all? I know you didn't watch it, just same as me. I just watched highlights, so.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch this game. But yeah, the Broncos, they, like you said, it was right there, and storybook. It just wasn't meant to be. Freaking kick gets blocked, game over. But Bo Nix had a pretty dang good game, man. So shout out to Bo Nix. He had a rock solid game. He's been getting progressively better throughout the year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So he seems like he's starting to get comfortable and find his niche, and didn't do as much on the ground. Well, didn't really do anything on the ground actually. But that's, you could tell he's getting more comfortable because he's not as reluctant to run now. He's actually starting to kind of get out of the pocket, move around more as the years progressed. So shout out to Bo Nix and the Broncos. But yeah, the Chiefs won, man, 9-0. Those 7 Patriots, look out. So.
Shit.
Chasing greatness. Yeah, chasing greatness. We're all going to be a part of it. Look at us in one lifetime. How about that?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole heck of a lot.
No, it's not. I was kidding.
Bills Colts. What's your thoughts of that Bills Colts game?
Oh man, Joe Flacco fell back to earth, didn't he?
Yeah. Hey, we said that they didn't need a bench Joe Flacco, and then start, like, bring him in.
Yeah, we did. We said that right before the game. Like, dude, just make him think he's coming in as the backup, and then just have Anthony Richardson go out and hand the ball out to JT, and then be like, all right, Joe, get in there, and then 5 touchdowns, right? But I mean, in all fairness, he had a better game than Josh Allen did. But breaking news: Joe Flacco has been benched, and Anthony Richardson is starting.
I was hoping you were gonna touch base on that.
Dude, I'm like, we talked about this. We just talked about this. That yo-yoing these young quarterbacks and just yo-yoing them and doing the walk the dog deal and then pulling them back. Like, dude, you either gotta commit to him or you gotta let him ride the pine and sit behind Joe Flacco. But you're gonna deplete his confidence if he goes out there this coming week and he lays an egg, and you guys are like, well, put Joe back in. Like, you're not helping his development. You can't do that with young quarterbacks, man. I mean, some quarterbacks can do it. Like Peyton Manning did it, but his rookie season, he also broke the interceptions record for a rookie quarterback. So it's probably not going to work out as good with Anthony Richardson. You either got to let him sit behind Joe Flacco or you got to let him play. You can't do this, like I said, yo-yoing him, just in and out. You can't do that.
Yep, I agree. Honestly, I agree 100. I can't even add any more to that. Big game for Josh Allen this weekend coming up. We did get a question by Babby Kostravek. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Trade Tyreek Hill for Mike Williams and Braylon Allen. I need to know your running back situation right now. Shoot your running back situation in there, and it'll give me more insight. I think Tyreek Hill's a better option than Mike Williams, obviously. I think Mike Williams is going to see a lot more in the role of the offense, but I don't know if you're going to see a one-play touchdown to Mike Williams every week. I do like Mike Williams, George Pickens, obviously dual threat, big body, jump ball guys, but it really seems like Russell's trying to force that ball to Calvin Austin, and he loves him. And I like Calvin Austin, I do, and I think that this could really benefit him having 2 big body jump ball guys on the outside of him, and he's in the slot working. But he's gonna get open, man. But yeah, what is your running back situation, and do you need Braylon Allen? Is the question.
Yeah,
So
that's
we'll
tough for
jump
me
into
too because I'm a
right.
Braylon Allen guy, but
Brees
this
has
is
been
kind of Brees
eating.
Hall's offense, you know.
Yeah, Brees has been eating.
Yeah, Brees has been balling, and like I said, Braylon Allen has a ton of potential. I think he was my number 2 ranked running back coming into the draft this year, so he's got a boatload of potential. But right now, this is kind of Brees's offense.
Yes. Um, Steelers Commanders, and I'm not gonna make this long winded just because it's my team, but uh, big big step up by the defense at the end to get a stop on the Commanders, and shout out to Russ just throwing that ball up for Mike Williams to get it. I'm not too sure what the cornerback was doing for the Commanders. I mean, Mike Williams and Tyreek Hill, and he blew past him like he was standing still. Um, to put the Steelers in the lead, and then obviously they get a stop on fourth down. Russell makes them jump. The rest is history. Uh, Penalties, man. This is basically where I'm going with it. The penalties on this Steelers defense is they're so handsy. And everyone knew that coming out. Joey Porter Jr. coming out of college. All these college cornerbacks do it. I mean, Steven, me and you talked about it right before the draft about they gotta tame their hands down. They gotta stop grabbing as much. And look at Terry and Arnold. Look at all of them. They all get these
Yeah,
holding calls because they are arm barring. They're trying to sneak in a hold, so on and so forth. Deshaun Elliott and Joey Porter Jr. and Donta Jackson had so many penalties this game. and the Joey Porter Jr. ones were kind of hurtful. I mean, they set up 2 touchdowns twice. Uh, 2 of his penalties did. So, I mean, it's undaunting and it's nerve wracking. But the defense, I think that Steeler wins by more if Killebrew completes that pass and
damn it.
no,
Was
I'm
it?
not gonna say much. I'm not gonna say much on. I'll let you touch base on it.
Oh no, you're
Uh,
good. You're good.
but St. Pierre, really, man, you got to catch that ball, bro. You got to catch that ball. But yeah, I mean, good by Pittsburgh. Russ is playing well. He looks very comfortable. Um, but I will say this, and I might catch hell for it, being a Steeler fan. Russ obviously is the better option um, over Justin Fields, and it's the veteran presence, seeing defenses really. He doesn't have the escapability that Justin Fields does. They both have their ups and downs, blah blah blah. Justin Fields wasn't throwing these deep balls like Russ is, and that's great. But and I mentioned this to you, Steven. Russell Wilson, other than the deep ball, what really has he hasn't shown that he can orchestrate a 5 yard pass, 7 yard pass, 12 yard pass, 8 yard pass, 3 yard pass, 9 yard pass, 20 yard pass, all the way down the field to the zone. And granted, it's working. What's happening right now, it is working. I'm not discrediting it whatsoever, but bold prediction. I think this is the week that a quarterback doesn't torch the Ravens defense, and we've literally watched it every single week in and week out. And I think this is the week that it doesn't happen. Um, I want it to happen as a Steeler fan, and Steven doesn't want it to happen as a Ravens fan. But time will tell. 1 o'clock, it's going to be interesting. But go ahead with what you're going to say on the Steelers Commanders game.
I was just gonna say that Brandon's boy freaking dropped the ball. James Pierre.
He's
Yeah,
such
old
a
James
bum.
Pierre, dude.
He's such a bum.
uh, no, dude, honestly, it was a pretty good game throughout. But like you said, penalties, man. The Ravens and Steelers might break the record for most penalties in a game
Oh my
by
goodness,
2 teams. I
they're so bad.
they played
They're so
well. I
bad.
mean, they played really well. But yeah, penalties killed them. Najee came out of the game with an injury, ankle injury.
But
Um,
he did return though.
he returned. Yeah, they're saying he may be questionable against Baltimore, which is kind of surprising because he did go back into the game. I mean, the injury, me and you thought the worst. I mean, it looked
Yeah.
bad. And then he went back out there,
He
and I'm like,
he was
he's
a
a
full
beast.
participant Thursday, so that's good news.
Okay, well there you go. So if he's a full participant Thursday, then he should be fine. He should be good to go. Pickens had a great game. Great catch, man.
Doing doing Pickens things.
Dude, yeah, that dude is just the body control, just everything. I mean, he's just got it all. If he would just get his get his shit together, with some of his
Pickens
antics,
is
but he does some funny
Pickens is
shit though.
Pickens is the crash out. I love
That dude
it.
he is the epitome of a menace, dude. I mean, he does the funniest shit. Russ threw that pick, dude, and he just like went after the other dude and just that was awesome. Uh, but I like Pickens, man. But yeah, he needs to tone it down a little bit. But I think him and Russ are really gelling right now. But I want to say too, Jaden Daniels, man. Hey, like he didn't have that eye popping game, but man, I'll tell you what. When it came down to that last drive where they needed to go down there, man, he did not seem skittish or phased or anything. Like he knew, he just seemed locked in. Like
He
he looked
seems
like a
like a
veteran.
veteran. Yeah, he
Yeah,
seems like a veteran, honestly.
dude, he's special, man. He's fun to watch, and it's nice to see him do something. It's nice to see the I keep wanting to call them the Redskins. They are the Redskins.
Yeah,
But
can't
it's
say it
nice to see
better.
the Commanders doing something. So I think it's things to look forward to. Hopefully they have a big game tonight.
Yeah, and right back, just braid it real quick. We said on the podcast the key to success for Pittsburgh was containing Jaden Daniels and not letting him get out and extend plays and make you have someone locked in on him 24/7. He had 3 carries for 5 rushes, and they got 3 sacks for a loss of 20 yards combined. So that's a huge win for the Steelers defense. Um, Vikings and Jaguars. I really want to drop an F bomb here, but I'm not gonna go into because I'm not trying to get canceled. Um, but bro, the Vikings.
Hmm.
I, me and you were talking, texting about this game, and wow, it was horrendous. I mean, Mac Jones is ass. We know that. We don't claim him Bama product. We don't claim him. Uh, the wheel did show out. This is we just did the wheel for the Adams and McConkey pick. Remember we did T.J. Hawkinson and I think was it Kyle Pitts? I think I can't remember which one, but we went with T.J. Hawkinson off the wheel, and T.J. Hawkinson 8 catches, 72 yards. It's pretty solid, especially in a PPR. But Sam Darnold kind of came back to life. The old Sam Darnold that we're used to, 3 interceptions. Do you think Minnesota Vikings fans should be panicking right now, or do you think that it's just one of them games where he was off? I mean, Justin Jefferson only had 48 yards. Jordan Addison only had 25. It just. Do you think he was just off? And there's nothing like they shouldn't be panicking, or do you think that maybe they should panic a little bit?
I told my buddy Evan, he's a big Vikings fan, and I told him, I said, dude, I said if y'all lose to the frickin' Jaguars, I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, don't panic. But I said if y'all lose to the Jaguars, which they didn't lose, but bam,
Came damn
like,
close.
yeah, like Mac Jones is just a little bit worse.
If T Law plays that game, they might lose.
Yeah, truthfully, yeah, truthfully, if I'm Vikings fans, I'm getting a little uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm getting a little uncomfortable. I wouldn't say full on panic or anything, but yeah, I would be getting a little uncomfortable. Efficiency wise, like he's not like 24 for 38 is solid, but 3 picks, like the
And
ones that
two
he's
picks
not
last
getting.
week.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
he's
two
starting to
no picks the week before against the Rams. But
he's
I
starting to get
mean,
into that habit, you know what I mean,
yeah,
of
yeah.
making these bad plays, and it kind of kind of seems like, I mean, they got Cam Robinson, but like not having Christian Darrisaw there, maybe that's kind of got him a little a little flustered. It's hard to say, man. But I wouldn't panic just yet. But
On
I'd
the
be getting a little
worrisome
nervous.
side. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and as for the Jags, I mean, the Jags are they're just the
They're ass.
Jags, dude.
Tank Bigsby touched the ball twice that whole game, dude. They're ass.
Yeah, and he freaking re-aggravated his ankle injury, and he
Yep.
may not play this week. So, I mean, the Jags are just a mess, dude. They are a freaking mess.
Doug Peterson fired at the end of the year.
I can see it happening, honestly. I mean, T-Law hasn't gotten any better. I mean, he didn't play, obviously, it was Mac, but um, T-Law hasn't gotten any better. I mean, he has a game where you're like, there he is, and then he's next two games he's like Kyler Murray. Honestly,
Yeah,
he's very similar to Kyler Murray.
yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more, honestly.
Yeah, but that team's got talent, but they just haven't been able to put it
Yeah,
together, and now they're not healthy. So
yeah. There's not much to say. It was a very lackluster game, and I feel bad for anyone that watched it. I'm glad I didn't.
same. I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I'd have been jacked. Patriots and Bears.
Let's go Patriots.
Are we officially? I mean, we've been saying it since he got drafted. But are people starting to think and like kind of really lean on the Caleb Williams' ass train? Like he's a bust. Like he's literally stomping up the stairs and slamming his face in front of Jamarcus Russell.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like calling somebody a bust that early. You know what I mean? But
But I haven't seen
this
any
is
flashes at all.
this might be the best offense I've seen a rookie quarterback, number one overall pick, surrounded by. I mean, the best team. I mean, I know they have their issues, like with pass protection here and there or whatever, but I mean, receiving core, you got the running back, you got the tight end, offensive line is rock solid. Like he holds the ball a lot. Like he holds the ball too damn long. Like people shit on the offensive line all the time, but they can't
And
block
it's not
forever.
great. Yeah, it's not great. I will say that.
Yeah, but it's they fired their offensive coordinator. Um, Should have fired their head coach, but whatever. They fired their offensive
Facts.
coordinator. They cut Nate Davis. So they're trying to make something happen, try and get a spark going or whatever. But yeah, it's not looking good for Caleb Williams, man. And we talked about this with him coming out of college. Is just he's doing the same things now, the same things that plagued him in college. He's doing in the NFL, and
Yep.
in the NFL, bro, you're going to get exposed
When
if
the
you don't
USC
clean that
played
shit up.
powerhouse teams, Caleb Williams got exposed all the time.
Yeah, and when we were talking Jaden Daniels in the pre-draft and why we liked him so much, our biggest thing was every year Jaden Daniels just got better and better and better and better in college. And not that Caleb Williams didn't, but he relies too much
Peaked.
on his physical abilities and
He
everything.
peaked. Yep. He was faster. He was just faster than everyone, and that's what made him as great as he was in college. And I'll die on that mountain. I'm sorry, but this dude sucks. He is absolute buns. Like, take it to the bank. Like, if you could reincarnate Randy Moss and Larry Allen and uh, put the early 2000s Cowboys line in front of him with Jonathan Ogden on the bench and Adrian Peterson in the backfield, he sucks. Like, I'm sorry, he sucks. Like, and that
He
defense is sucking wind because he cannot sustain a drive.
It says here, the rookie has taken a league high 38 sacks on the season, has been sacked on 29% of his pressures, the third
That's
highest
insane.
rate in the NFL. Um,
That's
and
wild.
he has been the most inaccurate quarterback in the NFL over the past month.
You want to hear a crazy statistic? And if you eliminate the records, like you're thinking like Patriots of old, bro. He was sacked 9 times.
Yep.
9. I mean, he's terrible. And it was one of them plays again where he's running. I've seen it again. I mean, he's turned into the Will Levis memery. I mean, he was running for his life and lost 20 yards. I mean, it's so bad. It's so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, and that, like, it goes back to what we just said a minute ago. It was just talking about him in college. He just was so used to using he was so used to using his arm and his athletic ability and stuff like that, to where he never really developed the fundamentals for the game because at the time he didn't need to because he had talent around him. So he didn't need to develop the fundamentals of the game. But if you're going to be the number one overall pick and a starting quarterback in the NFL, like, you have to be receptive of learning the fundamentals of the game, going through your progressions and all the other stuff. Like, that's how quarterbacks, they get better. Like, the younger obviously they're gonna have trial and tribulations. I don't care who you are,
Right.
but you got to be able to be open to development. This dude came in saying he wanted a stake in the Bears franchise and all this other bullshit. You know what
He
I mean? It's
texted
like,
his
dude, you're
punter and
bringing
said they're not going to be
unnecessary.
doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're bringing unnecessary attention to yourself, dude. Like, just go in there, put your head down, and work with your team. And, like, if you take this seriously, which apparently I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. Is like with Jaden Daniels, another thing we talked about. And I don't want to keep piggybacking on Jaden Daniels and Drake May, but in the pre-draft process, we said I don't think Caleb Williams is going to lead the locker room. I think Jaden Daniels will lead the locker room. I think people will get behind Drake May, but I don't think people will get behind Caleb Williams, and they're not.
Yes.
And that's that, dude. Yeah, he's playing like absolute shit.
Yeah. It's bad top to bottom, man. He
And
does not
Penix,
look good.
can't forget Penix.
Yeah. Honestly, Michael Penix is in such a great position. But we'll save that talk for another time. Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse with the Bears, but I will come on here and say that that Caleb Williams sucks every single week until he proves me otherwise. I
Yeah,
know
we
he
spoke into
had,
existence with Daniel Jones, so.
yeah, Daniel Jones. They're gonna get it 24/7. Um, Chargers Titans. Very under the radar game. Wasn't much talked about just because of teams that played. It wasn't like looking at the statistics. I don't see anything. You're like, damn. um, Honestly, it really isn't. Very other than the 7 sacks that happened on Will Levis. Holy shit. I
Dude, I
didn't
thought
know
I
that.
thought J.K. Dobbins. We told that one guy to start J.K. I thought J.K. was gonna have a hell of a day, and he didn't do shit.
Yeah, 10 or 15 rushes, 50 yards. And Gus Edwards didn't really do anything. 10 rushes, 55. I mean, yeah, that neither team really did. I mean, neither team really had any crazy stats. Justin Herbert, 164 yards passing, not great. Will Levis, 175. I mean, yeah, I don't
Will
really
Levis
have much
stinks
to say
too.
about this game. Honestly, do you have anything with this game?
No,
Chargers are a
no,
sneaky 6-3 team. I will say that.
dude, I like the Chargers. I want to see them take the next step and play to their potential because they have a boatload of potential and they're starting to get healthy, which is key for the Chargers. I mean, anybody who's a Chargers fan knows for the past since they got Khalil Mack, like, they've just been ravaged by injuries,
Yeah,
year in and year out, and it's been devastating. So hopefully they're
right.
healthy and they're healthy for the long run.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And they got some tough games coming up too. I mean, they got the Bengals, the Ravens, the Falcons, the Chiefs, Buccaneers, Broncos, and they close out with Patriots, Raiders. So they definitely got some tough sledding ahead. Eagles, Cowboys. Another week where I said that Eagles don't cover. I will never bet them again until they prove me that I can. Uh, Jalen Hurts shows out. Uh, in the ground game and passing. Jalen Hurts had a really good game. 14 to 20, 202 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, which almost what a huge play by what is the Dallas Cowboys cornerback Trayvon. He had made an amazing play. He made an amazing play on a ball that was a walk-in touchdown. So can't discredit that by whatsoever. And Cooper Rush is Cooper Rush, and Trey Lance is Trey Lance. uh, yeah, man. The Eagles are rolling, bro. I know they're 7-2, which I mean, let's be honest. There's a few of them games where you're like, damn, the Eagles literally could be 2-7. I mean,
Yeah.
they one flip of the coin the other way. It's a bad day it's a bad year for the Eagles. I know we were talking about Sirianni on the hot seat, and I mean they continue to win. They won in dominant fashion, which this is the game they're supposed to win in dominant fashion. They were supposed to blow out the Cowboys with the quarterbackless and injury-plagued Cowboys. That's what they were supposed to do. But Jalen seems like he's a lot more comfortable. Correct me if I'm wrong. From 3 weeks ago, I feel like Jalen feels like is playing Jalen Hurts football. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I mean, especially in the running game, he's using his legs a lot more. Which on that Super Bowl run, that's what really made Jalen what he is the ability to get out of the pocket and find them people downfield and make them plays and make them throws. And it just seemed like they weren't doing that. They were trying to make him a pocket passer. I don't know if it was his choice or the organization's choice. I don't know. I don't follow the Eagles, but I just feel that that's like he looked like he was just in concrete in the pocket, and that's not Jalen Hurts' game. What is your outlook for the Eagles going forward? Sitting at 7-2, they got the Commanders here in about 45 minutes or so, and the remainder of the schedule is the Rams, the Ravens, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Commanders again, the Cowboys again, and the Giants again. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 games that could go either way. But what's your outlook with the Eagles? What do you see with the future with the Eagles?
Well, I think that we had touched on it. I can't remember if it was last week or maybe it was the week before, but we talked about Jalen Hurts and said the same thing. It's at the time they weren't playing, they didn't have as good of a game as they did with this one, but we were like they need to get back to playing the Jalen Hurts strengths if they really plan on going far, and riding riding the Saquon Barkley train and letting those two kind of feed off each other. Jalen gets out using his legs, and that's exactly what they did in this game. I mean, granted, it's against a depleted and defeated Cowboys team,
To say the least.
to say the least, putting it nicely. Yeah. One of the biggest takeaways for this game for me was your boy Kenny Pickett, man. He was 1 for 2 for 5 yards, and he also had a 1-yard rush. So
Yeah, he went
that's
crazy.
huge.
Yeah, he went
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I don't know if he did the fake slide on that rush or not, but that's pretty cool. Anyway, back to real football news. Cooper Rush, man, is like Brandon said, he's Cooper Rush, dude. I mean, I don't know. People were talking about like, bench Dak and put in Cooper Rush or Trey Lance or whatever, and I'm like, dude, you don't realize how good you got it until it's gone. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Dak wasn't blowing up the stat sheet or nothing, but Cooper Rush, he just stinks. And Trey Lance, I mean, this dude threw 5 interceptions in a preseason game. All right? Like, I don't know if anybody it was the
Wasn't it the 49ers?
I feel bad for I think it was the
Wasn't it against the preseason game against the 49ers?
I want to say it was the Chargers.
Oh, I can't
I want to
remember,
say it
dude.
was the
It's so
Chargers. I
bad.
can't
It was
either.
so bad, dude. So
This dude
bad.
threw 5 interceptions. I think he had a fumble in that game. In a preseason game, ladies and gentlemen that are listening to us ramble about football. This dude has 5 picks in a preseason game. I can't emphasize that enough. But coming out of North Dakota State, dude, he had all the physical talent in the world. The problem was he came from North Dakota State, and he had one good year. One. He had
Kenny Pickett. One.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you were betting on his athleticism and his upside and his physical talents. You weren't betting on the fact that he can play quarterback in the National Football League. but he was still taken with the third pick, and now he's with the Cowboys. So, yeah, like I said, you don't realize what you got until it's gone, man. Like I said, Dak wasn't lighting it up or nothing, but Cowboys' problems is they don't have a run game for one, and for
They
two,
got your boy Rico Dowdle, dude.
yeah, old Rico.
Dude, 374 yards on the year, bro. He's killing it.
Yeah, dude, somebody stop that man. You know what I mean? But the Cowboys' problems is what it's always been for the past probably 20 years. It's Jerry Jones,
Jerry
man.
Jones.
That's the Cowboys' problem. I'm
Jerry
sorry, you can own
Jones.
the team, but you can't be the GM, man. Like you're not. The game's passed you by, and we talked about it. We compared it to you brought it up. You compared him to Al Davis, and it's true. The game passed you up. You can't go out there and get Olympic sprinters anymore, Al. You know what I mean? Like they got to be able to catch a damn ball. So I don't know, man. I would say I feel bad for Cowboy fans, but most of them that I've met are dicks anyway. So
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
yeah, at the end of the day, it was just a terrible game by the Cowboys. Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
5
Next
picks in a
game.
preseason game. Next game.
Oh
Well, it's like
shit.
LeBron James, not one, not two,
Two,
not three.
not three. Oh
I'm
shit.
too hard on Trey Lance, man. He seems like a good dude, man, but he just
He
he just
sucks.
stinks as a quarterback.
Caleb
Yeah.
Williams. um. So the New York Jets and the Arizona Cardinals.
Here we go. Here's another one of those games.
Look, the Jets. The Jets are now banned, unless there's some crazy line because I can't trust the Jets. Garrett Wilson has been eating since week one. Devontae Adams had 13 targets and only had 31 yards. The Cardinals are sitting at 6-4, and there might be the sneakiest 6-4 team in the league because the Cardinals don't scare me whatsoever. I don't know what is wrong with the Jets. I don't. I have no clue. They look horrible. I mean, they got decimated by the Cardinals. It wasn't like, oh, the Jets lost another close game. No, they got destroyed all game. Aaron Rodgers looked like shit. Another 151-yard game. I don't get it, man. I mean, Kyler Murray, you got the good Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison Jr. with a touchdown. Kyler Murray with 2 rushing. James Conner with 1 rushing. I mean, they decimated this team. And frankly, the bright spot from last year for the Jets that could actually stop someone. They can't stop a damn cold.
Nope.
And Aaron Rodgers said that he wants to come back next year and play again. So I don't know, man. I don't think the Cardinals are that good. Just that's me. But I don't think the Jets are that good either. What's your thoughts with this Jets team, man? What is missing? They have every piece they could possibly need. Is it Aaron Rodgers?
I feel like every week we have this conversation about the Jets, man. Like I said, growing up, man, Aaron Rodgers is my guy, man. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the hell's wrong with the Jets. I don't. Like you said, they got 2 running backs who are really good. They got 2 number 1 receivers. They got a rock solid tight end. Like they have all the pieces, everything you need to
Top to bottom.
be successful. And offensively. But they have everything, and they just seem so out of sync. Aaron
They look
Rodgers
like
still has
shit.
the zip on the ball. He can still
Mhm.
move. Like I don't know. Honestly, truthfully, I don't know what the hell's wrong with the Jets. It may it I mean, it's hard not to point the finger at Aaron Rodgers just because it's like, dude, you're supposed to be getting these guys right. We brought all your buddies, you know.
I
We got
mean,
all these washed up. We got most feared Alan Lazard here. You know what I mean? Like we brought we brought all your
Madden
buddies, dude.
reference for anyone.
Yeah, man, we brought Alan Lazard here. Like we got you Devontae, you know, and Devontae with these drops. I've
Dude,
never see Devontae
yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
Never see Devontae drop the ball, dude. Like the Jets right now, honestly, they're kind of a circus, like a sideshow, like they're a joke, you know. And I hate to put it that way, but their defense can't do shit. I mean, I just I don't know what's wrong with this team. Like Kyler Murray was getting completions and just running at will. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched that game and I'm like, what is going on? I
Yeah,
mean,
I fell asleep.
the receiving. Yeah, it's hard not to. If you're watching this one, it'd be a good time to catch a freaking few Z's. But yeah, dude, Trey Benson had a great game. James Conner had a really good game. You know, he didn't do much on the
Rushing,
ground, but in the
yeah,
receiving game,
rushing
shit.
not so much, but receiving, he went crazy.
Yeah, and he did that whole game. And Trey McBride had some boss ass catches.
Yeah, he
Like the
did.
Cardinals, the Cardinals looked like when me and you talked about it coming into this damn game. It depends on which Kyler Murray you're getting. Are you getting this one, the one that looks like a Pro Bowler, or are you getting the Sean Watson Kyler Murray? Like you don't know which one you're going to get with him. But against the Jets, he looked fantastic. So as for the Jets, this year's a wash. They're in the same boat as the Cowboys. You know what I mean? It's over. it was
Bro, if
cool.
I'm
It
the
was
Jets,
fun.
I'm gonna not try and win any more games. To be honest, give me a high little draft pick, and you know, give me a little stud coming out of college.
Yeah. You want to make sure he's on the defense. I mean, they got shit. You said what? They got 31 contracts that are up.
30.
30. Jesus Christ! Like Aaron Rodgers gonna walk in there and like all his boys are gonna be in the retirement home. He's gonna be like, dude, what the? You know, where did everybody go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro,
The Jets have a
it's not
decision to
good.
make.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
They kind of did what the Rams did a few years ago with when they got Matt Stafford and
Yes.
did all that stuff, but it just blew up in their face. I hate it though. I'd love to see my
Yeah.
boy Aaron Rodgers finish on a high note, man. But right now the Jets are just lost in the sauce, dude.
All right. Moving on to the late night game. Wow. Detroit, Houston. I'm just gonna let you run wild, and I'm gonna piggyback off of you.
Well, man, I'll tell you what. That was an exciting game, dude. I was really pumped for, man. And it honestly, I don't. There was so many mistakes in that game. I was just watching this shit, and like, it wasn't a bad. Like I texted you that night, and I said like, I don't want to say it was a good game, but it
No.
was fun to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, because it wasn't a good game. It was a terrible game. Jared Goff, the man threw 5 picks, dude. He threw 4 picks all year, all year. And then CJ, he had kind of a stinker of a game. He threw 2 picks. Like it was a turnover fest. It was insane. But like I said, it wasn't it wasn't that it wasn't a good game. It was just exciting. It was like, dude, who's gonna screw up next? I almost slipped up. Who's gonna screw up next? You know what I mean? Um, and then at the end of the game, there was a could have went either way. You know, might have been pass interference. You know, might not have been. You know what I mean? It was one of those deals. You know, so there was a little controversy at the end of the game there, but I mean, exciting game, but just what the hell happened, dude?
Dude, that game was wild, to say the least. I mean, absolutely wild. I mean, Jared Goff, they were down, and Jared Goff's like, screw it. He's like, I'm trying to get this back in one play. Interception. Same thing. Interception. Same thing. Interception.
Yeah.
it was so bad. And then Jared Goff locked in. They got the ball back. 23-23. He locks in, and they get Amon-Ra, get that first down on third, and they kick the game-winning field goal. I mean, bro, this game was insane. I mean, it was one of them on the edge of your seat, and it was terrible all at the same time. The Lions defense, though, man, the Lions defense is serious. And just think if Aiden was still there. Oh my goodness.
I know.
I mean, this Lions defense is no joke. And I just want to give a little shout out though. Our boy John Mechie showed up. 5 catches, 74 yards on a tud. Been waiting for that from Mechie, man. Unfortunate with his diagnosis, but hey, maybe this is the step in the right direction.
I hope so, man. Yeah, Mechie's super talented, man. That team's talented. They just
very.
Just got to put it together. They got to finish the games, man. Got to finish the games. Can't have them damn turnovers. I mean, Detroit had more turnovers and they still won, but still.
Hey, this is what was it? What was that statistic that I shared to you? This is like Jared Goff's 7th game throwing 4 or more interceptions, and he's 7-0 doing it.
Yeah, it was something insane like that. Yeah.
He hasn't lost.
Yeah, it's like, dude, how is that even? We were just talking about how like efficient, like leading up to this game, how efficient he's been all year, and we're like, dude, Jared Goff is like playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like dark horse MVP type, playing out of his mind, and then he goes and does this.
15 for 30 and 5 picks.
Yeah, psych, dude. Yeah, it's like psych. Yeah, man, that shit was crazy.
This is why the title of this post is the crazy Sunday football. Because listen, there were so many interceptions. There's been more interceptions between, I think it was like 4 games than there's been all year combined. Oh, it's wild. It's crazy. But hey, Dan Campbell got them biting kneecaps and getting back up or whatever the hell he said.
It wasn't pretty, dude, but they got the win. I guess at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But holy shit.
Hats off to Detroit, man. They're rolling. They're my NFC favorite. Houston, I mean, they're right there. They're at the top of their division. Houston's definitely glad that they have the Colts, the Tennessee Titans, and the Jacksonville Jaguars in the division. So they're walking right towards the playoffs, and maybe they can get it figured out. They got a nice little game coming up this week against the Cowboys, which should be no issue. But never say never. I mean, they have a actually pretty favorable next 3 games: Cowboys, Titans, Jaguars. And then they got Dolphins. And then they got the Chiefs, Ravens, and Titans to close the game out. Close the year out, sorry. So they have a pretty favorable schedule going in towards the playoffs. And around this recap out, Dolphins and the Rams. It wasn't the game I was expecting. I will say that. I thought you were going to see like a very high octane type of game because the Dolphins have been giving up a ton of yards, and so have the Rams. And I mean, Matt Stafford had almost 300. Tua had 200. The Dolphins just got the ball in plus territory all night long. Matt Stafford interception, Kyren Williams fumble, drives just being stalled. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp showed up. If the Dolphins win out, they have a shot. But I don't see them winning out. Man, I'm glad to see Tua. He took that knee to the head. I'm glad to see he's fine. But bro, I don't know how Jalen Waddle has 3 catches for 57 yards in the first half and doesn't catch another ball the rest of the game. I don't get it. And The Rams must have had a plan for Tyreek Hill because other than that touchdown, he didn't do a damn thing. What do you think that the Dolphins can go on a run? And do you think that the Rams can go on a run? And I just do want to say the MVP of this game is Calais Campbell. And I do just want to say that because Calais Campbell went nuts.
I miss him. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Um, the Dolphins don't scare me.
No.
Last year, they scared me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
They
dropped
did.
Steady on the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly. They're just friggin' just scoring with impunity against the Broncos. Yeah, like the Dolphins just don't scare me. I don't know what's wrong with this team. I seriously don't. I figure with Tua coming back, maybe he needs a week, two, or whatever to get, reacclimated, knock the rust off and stuff like that. But I mean, even just watching the game, to be honest, they just don't seem like just they're not that dynamic, explosive offense that they were. Like they're just kind of vanilla. Like they're not really doing like the field stretching plays like they were before. You know
I
what I
think
mean? Like they're
McDaniels
just.
is getting exposed, bro.
I kind of think he is too. Like I don't know if Mike McDaniel's has kind of gotten figured out by defensive coordinators, and you know. But the Dolphins, I mean, you have all that damn talent on offense. Like Raheem Mostert barely got any touches, and I love A-Chain, but I think that those two play well when they're going hand in hand with each other. And I like Jalen Wright too, rookie out of Tennessee. He's very talented. But Mostert's kind of like the guy that gets everybody on offense settled down.
Yeah.
He just does. He's the veteran presence that just gets everybody to kind of just settle down, and that's when Miami starts to click. And he's barely on the damn field. So, dude, like I said, I mean, I'm not really worried about the Dolphins as far as
No,
them. I
not at
want to
all.
see them do good. I want that big explosive game from Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and um, A Chain and Tua. Like I want that. I do. Like because I genuinely like these players and I like the guys on their team and I do like Mike McDaniels, but they're just they don't scare me anymore. So could they go on a run? It's possible, but they need to play better. As for the Rams, they just couldn't score. Like the Rams didn't
No,
look terrible. Like they didn't. They didn't look terrible, but their biggest problem was they just couldn't score.
they just kept stalling and stalling and stalling.
Yeah.
Field
So
goal after field goal.
to be perfectly honest with you, I'm more intimidated by the Rams right now than the Dolphins.
I would co-sign that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I hate to say that, but it's God's honest truth, dude.
And I mean,
I think people sleep on the Rams, myself included.
yeah, I agree 100%. I 100% have. But Matt Stafford's still slinging that ball around, boy, and Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua getting 20 targets a game, and like 12 of them going to Puka. So, um, I mean, looking at the Falcons, looking at the Dolphins' remaining games, it's not terrible, man. You got the Raiders this week. You got the Patriots. You got a tough matchup against the Packers, but then you got the Jets, and then a tough one, obviously, Texans, 49ers, Browns, Jets. So, I mean, Texans, 49ers, I don't think, and Packers, I think you're looking at 9 losses, though. That's the bad part. They're at 6 already. That's even if they win and they lose those 3 games, you're looking at 9 losses. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think that gets you in the playoffs in the AFC at least.
No, unless they do a complete 180 and
Yeah, and if they
and
can
get
squeak
right.
out some wins, I mean, they can squeak out some wins against them, the Texans, against the um, 49ers. They were shot. But you said it. They're going to have to do a complete 180. They're going to have to do a complete turnaround. And it's just, I mean, unfortunately, I think it's going to be too little too late, so to speak.
I think that's fair.
I'm gonna put something on the stream, just a little something different. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to or not, and I really don't care. It's NFL Network. the playoff picture right now as it stands. um, you got the Chiefs number one, obviously. Bills number two. Steelers at 3. Texans at 4. Ravens at 5. Chargers and Broncos at 6 and 7, rounding it out. On the NFC side, you got the Lions, Eagles, Falcons, Cardinals, Vikings, Commanders, Packers. So the big one I want to look at is the bubble. On the bubble, the fact that the Bears still have a shot at getting in it's honestly crazy. But if they lose this week against Green Bay, it tremendously goes out the window. And obviously they're going to need some help. And the Colts and the Bengals also. I mean, you're looking at two 4-6 teams have a realistic shot at potentially getting in. I mean, and if the Jets win against Indy, their probability goes up to 21% to get in. And each win that stacks it just gets better and better. I mean, the bubble race is tight. And then obviously the Ravens Steelers, they're basically in that's just 1 and 2 for the division. And it says if the Ravens win, it's a 99% chance that they get in. And if the Steelers win, it's a 98% they get in. If the Steelers lose, it's a 92% chance. If the Ravens lose, it's a 96% chance. So, I mean, the Steelers and the Ravens, unless it's a complete, utter meltdown, you're looking at those are your 2 playoff teams, at least 2 playoff teams. The Bills and the Chiefs, the other 2. So there's 4 teams right there already. I mean, it's gonna be different seeing new faces, so to speak, in the playoffs. Commanders, I really want the Commanders to get in. I do. I think it could be an awesome NFC showdown if the Commanders get in. But I mean, look at this: Lions, Vikings, Packers. 3 teams of the same division, just front running. And the 49ers have a big game, a big game coming up this week against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a huge game because they're on that brink. If they lose, I mean, that could be the telltale of the 49ers not getting in if they lose to the Seahawks this coming weekend.
True.
And to think that the Cardinals are the team on top of that division is kind of mind-blowing, honestly. But if the Seahawks win, it leapfrogs the Seahawks right back up, and it puts them at 5-5. And the Cardinals, you don't know what team's going to show up, and I mean that division, it's going to be a very, very bad record that gets in, I think. But that is something we can dive more into on Saturday's podcast when we go over the Week 11 games. But yeah, any closing thoughts, Steven?
As usual, I just want to thank everybody that did tune in. Thank you guys for the questions, the likes, the subscriptions, and everything. We appreciate it. And hopefully our fantasy football picks pan out for you guys. It's always kind of a coin flip with what you're going to get. But best advice, do your own research too. And just keep an eye on the injury report and stuff like that, because you never know when somebody may get injured in practice and stuff. So always keep an eye out. But this weekend we are all Bills fans, so that's all I got.
Yes. Yeah. So anyone tuned in, make sure that you come check us out on Saturday. We will be live. We moved the Saturday show from 10 a.m. to later in the day, just because a lot of people weren't really awake or on TikTok in the early morning. So we've been doing the Saturday podcast a little bit later, typically around this time roughly, if not a little bit earlier. Usually runs about 2 hours or so. So Hey, if you like the content, if you like what we're bringing, you like just talking about football, don't be afraid to jump in, shoot the shit with us, and yeah, as like Steven said, we appreciate every single one of you guys, and we are BS Draft. Actually, before I close out, make sure the bet tonight: Philly versus Washington, 49.5 over the points. It's going up on the Facebook page right now. But yeah, we are BS Draftcast.